If you're looking for a quiet neighborhood next to the Atlanta Beltline where you're not gonna have to pay over $1 million, well, one little hidden gem here in the Atlanta area is a neighborhood called Boulevard Heights. I'm gonna walk around this neighborhood, show you what it is like. Let me put this up on a map so you can see exactly where this little neighborhood is located. You're gonna see it is a tiny little neighborhood. It is just kind of next to the Grant Park area, kind of borders the Ormwood Park, kind of near Glenwood Park, and the up and coming neighborhood of Chosewood Park. But this video is probably not going to take me that long because it is a very tiny neighborhood and it's basically full of kind of like bungalows like this one that I'm standing right behind. So I'm going to start walking and just show you some examples of what you're going to find on the streets here. By the way, my name is Molly. Welcome back to my channel where I talk all things living here in the Atlanta area. And yeah, if you are wanting to make a move here, you need some help with your home search, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for, is to help you find a place to call home here in the Atlanta area. Certainly do not be shy to reach out to me. All my contact information is down in that comment section. Would love to hear from you. So, okay, Boulevard Heights. Now, I forgot, I should put up some travel times on the map. So if you live here and maybe you commute for work, here are some of your typical travel time. So getting over to the airport, that's the easiest. It's going to be about a 16-minute cruise down there. Downtown, it'll be about 15 minutes. Midtown, 20 minutes. And the Buckhead area is going to be about 35 minutes. But I will say, if there is a lot of traffic, you're traveling during those peak times, I would add on another 10 minutes to all of those commute times, except maybe the airport. The airport seems to be a pretty easy one to get to. So all right, so here I am in the Boulevard Heights neighborhood. The locals here call it BoHo for short. And what you're gonna find here are just kind of some older bungalows. There are starting to be a little bit more newer construction homes in this neighborhood, but for the most part, you're gonna find kind of older bungalows. Some that are, you know, this is a cute one. And then there's definitely some that are in need of some help. I've seen some empty lots or some that are completely vacant, need a tear down and an overhaul. I'd say this neighborhood is going to be kind of a mix of things, not like pristine Buckhead kind of living, but we're not in Buckhead, right? So you're gonna find some homes where, you know, they don't take the best care of the yards and then others do. So it's kind of a mishmash. There's not sidewalks in this neighborhood. You're gonna be walking on the streets, but you guys, like, this neighborhood is so quiet because no one's gonna be cutting through this neighborhood unless you really live here. So I'm gonna just walk around a couple of these streets so you can get an idea of what kind of homes you're gonna get here, what they look like, and I'll tell you about home prices next. Okay, so kind of at the northern end of this neighborhood, right behind me, you can see this apartment complex. It's called the Penang. So if you're looking for an apartment option, this is one, and it is very close to the Beltline. I'm going to take you to the Beltline here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But now I'm just walking on one example of a road. It's actually a super cute road. You know, this neighborhood is going to have a lot of older bungalows, and then you got kind of these newer craftsman style homes. This is all along the street, super, super cute. And then right behind me, I believe this home recently sold. It's a huge home. I think it's like over 6,000 square feet, and it sold in the 900K range. So let me give you a breakdown though of what you can expect to pay if you are considering looking in this neighborhood. So one thing I think is great about this neighborhood is that if you can't find anything in Grant Park, which is right next door, super easy to get to, maybe it's getting a little too expensive, maybe check over here in BoHo, because you can get some great options here and you may not have to pay as much as you would in Grant Park. So the average single family home in BoHo is $637,000 for a single family, and this will get you about 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and about 2,200 square feet. There are some townhome options here. Stay tuned. I will take you by the majority of those. They are newer construction, and those are going to average about $502,000, but there's some good deals in there too that are in the lower 400. So I'll tell you more about that, but that's kind of your breakdown of your single family homes and your townhomes. Certainly you can find some cute bungalows here in the 400 to 500K range. If you're wanting kind of something like a newer Craftsman, for these you're probably going to be paying in that higher 800K price point. But let me walk down the street. I'll show you kind of a typical newer Craftsman style and what that looks like and what you'll pay for it. So let's go. Okay, so right behind me here, this is an example of a home that just recently sold. It's a 4 bedroom, 3 bath, sold for $750,000, just over 2,400 square feet. And it's built in 2013, so it's kind of has like the open layout concept, a little bit of a beigey tone to me, with like granite countertops and beige tile and kind of the darker cabinets, but overall a nice layout, and I believe it has a detached garage. So that's one thing, whether you get a garage in this neighborhood or not, that is really hit or miss. Some of these newer homes, you might get that, and that is a lovely Craftsman style right behind me there. But one thing I think people do like and appreciate about this neighborhood is it is a little bit of a secret. A lot of people don't know about it. It's very quiet, it's very neighborly. So if you're kind of looking for kind of a low-key area that is still close to the city and all of the amenities, but you just don't want to be in the thick of all of it, this is a great option. Now here's the thing, so I've been walking around, you'll see these really pretty homes, and then there's some of the dilapidated homes, some that need some work, some love, and then you'll see like this big empty lot here. It looks like there was a permit box. I'm not for sure if there is a project in place, but this is the thing. So this neighborhood, it is right by the Beltline, like I mentioned, and it's also up next to Chosewood Park, which is another up and coming neighborhood. I think it's only a matter of time until some of these homes get torn down and new construction happening. I mean, there was one new construction up the road, and I believe they had it listed for like over 1.2 million. I think that's a little bit high, but it is kind of happening here. And don't yell at me and put nasty comments in here about taking over these homes and changing the landscape. It is what it is. I'm just kind of reporting the news. But if you want to get into an area before it kind of changes over, this is a great opportunity to do that. Now, I will say that, there is not a lot to do in this neighborhood. Like I said, it's just a quiet little sweet neighborhood, but you are close to Grant Park with a lot of restaurants. You've got the zoo, you've got the big Grant Park area to walk around, but you're also right by the Beltline, so you can pop on there. I mean, shoot, you can walk about 1.1 miles north and you're over in the Glenwood Park area with a coffee shop and some restaurants. There's the Chick-fil-A, Kroger, or you can walk 1.1 miles the other direction and you're over at the Beacon, which is over in Grant Park, and a few restaurants there, get a margarita or some coffee. So that's the one thing, is that you're very walkable to some of these other destinations. But yeah, in here, you're just not gonna get a bunch of commercial coffee shops, that kind of thing, which maybe that's what people want. They don't want to have a bunch of commercial stuff around them. Now check out that huge magnolia tree behind me. It is lovely, and it looks like we've got a nice renovated bungalow right here. And then some just cute, charming little ones like this one. This one looks like definitely an older one that's just super close to the street, but still very charming. One thing again I'll mention is that this is just a very quiet neighborhood. I've seen some people out walking their dogs. But if you are wondering, you know, how do I get groceries? Where do I go? Well, you got a couple of great options. So you've got a Kroger there up in the Glenwood Park area, so that's super easy to get to. And you also have the new Publix option that's over in the Summerhill area. So you don't have to get too far for grocery stores. You know, 10 years ago, those grocery stores didn't even exist. So you would really have to travel far to get to a grocery store, but that is not the case anymore, which is great for this neighborhood. Now, let me just go around this corner. There is this cute little bungalow listed for sale right now. It's a 3-2 and it's listed for just at $500,000. Super charming inside, has really cute updates. The primary bedroom is kind of carved out of the attic space, but you know, if you're looking for just a sweet bungalow with some charm, this one is it. And it is right behind me here. Check it out. Yes, it is for sale. So if you're interested, reach out to me. I would love to hook you up with this. It's a great buy for $500,000 because the townhomes I'm about to show you, those can go for $500,000 and you don't get the big yard that you do right here. All right, so on the edge of the Boulevard Heights neighborhood is this complex called The Swift. It is a townhome community built by Empire Communities. They've been building all around town. This is about, I think, about close to 200 units here in this complex. And you're gonna see behind me, I am kind of in their big green space. They've got like a nice little water feature, and they've got this little community area that you can hang out at. There's no pool, but if you are looking for a newer townhome, and I think it started getting built in 2018 up to like 2020 range. So if you're looking for a newer townhome, this could be a great option. They range anywhere from like the low 400s up to the mid 500s, just depending on size. You can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, ranging anywhere from 1,100 square feet up to just over 2,000 square feet. They all have garages of some sort. So that is just a great option. I mean, this kind of feels way different than the rest of the BoHo neighborhood. But if you are looking for newer construction and you want a townhome, this is a great option. Also, if you are looking for an investment property, this is a great option because there are no rental restrictions. Now, I know a lot of you call me up and ask about buying something and renting it out. This is a place that you can actually do that. There are no rental restrictions. So if you want to buy it today, rent it out tomorrow, you certainly can do that. So if that's something that interests you, let me know. I know the smaller units will rent around like 2,300. The larger units, I think you can get about 3,000. So there you go. Now I'm going to walk down to the end of this complex here because there's something else brewing. So I'm going to tell you about that next. Okay, so now it might be a little bit noisy, but there I am right behind a big construction zone. It is just north of the Swift complex. This used to be an old landfill, so they spent a while cleaning this out. I even have some footage of when there used to be a mound of tires, and so they spent a lot of time cleaning up this landfill. And now what they're going to be building here is an apartment complex. So this is right off of Avondale Avenue and United Avondale. And I will say, like, look behind me, you got some newer construction homes all behind me. You've got this one, I think they're trying to sell it for like 1.3 million. So this is where, like, you know, the prices are going a little bit crazy in this neighborhood, a little bit too high in my opinion to start out with, but you can see some of these newer construction homes, and I think this is just kind of the writing on the wall for this neighborhood, is that we might start seeing a little bit more of this construction and redevelopment of this area with some newer construction homes. But now I am going to walk down and just show you how close we are to one of the entrances here into the Beltline, which it's not done here. The Beltline will be finished. They're working on it. I think it's going to be opening and done around the fall of 2025. Now, if you don't know what the Beltline is, go check it out on my channel. I've got a few videos on that, but it's a walking, jogging trail that people like to walk on, and you can connect to all these in-town neighborhoods. And I think that's one great thing about especially BoHo is you can connect to these other neighborhoods that have a little bit more going on. So if you got a bike, I mean, it would be an easy breezy to get over to some of these other neighborhoods with some restaurants and that kind of thing. But let me walk over there and just show you how close we are. All right, so I'm just at this newly built bridge here that is going to be where the Beltline crosses over United Avenue. It's unclear to me actually if you can access this part. It doesn't seem like they're going to be building stairs anywhere. I could be totally leading you astray here, but I promise you I'll go around, and there's some other points where you can access the Beltline from the Boulevard Heights neighborhood. It would just be off of Boulevard Avenue and on the eastern side of this neighborhood. So I'll take you there next. A couple other things I'll point out is kind of on the edge of where Boulevard Heights ends. Right here on the edge, you're going to see this complex. This is called the Trestle Tree Apartments. This is a Section 8 housing, so it's just something to be aware of and let you know about it. But yeah, let me go back into the neighborhood and go around the other way where you can access the Beltline, so you can just kind of see what that looks like. It's unfinished yet, but again, it's coming soon here in the neighborhood. Okay, it's getting hot out here, but I will say walking from one end of this neighborhood to the other, it doesn't take that long. It's just a small neighborhood, so you can get from one side to the other pretty quickly. But I'm right here off of Boulevard Street. This is the main north-south running street that will take you up into like the old Fourth Ward if you wanted to. But you've got Chosewood Park right across the street, and if you haven't seen my Chosewood Park video yet, check it out right here. I probably need to do an updated one because this neighborhood is changing pretty rapidly. But here you can see where the Beltline is. You can see they are currently working on it as we speak, and like I said, it should be opening up in the fall of 2025. But check out what else has opened up here. I mean, there's a lot of apartment complexes along this road, but they've got a mellow mushroom here now, so that's pretty cool. You can actually walk to at least one thing to eat, but you could also just walk up probably 2 or 3 blocks further north, and you're gonna hit the edge of Grant Park, and you'll be right by the Grant Park area. So if you haven't seen Grant Park, make sure you watch that video on my channel, and that'll catch you up to speed and see why Grant Park is such a great neighborhood as well. Okay, I'm gonna dip back in the neighborhood, tell you a few more things before I go. Now, if you're wondering about schools, the schools that are zoned to this neighborhood are the same as if you lived in Grant Park, Ormwood Park. So The elementary school is Parkside Elementary, middle school is MLK Junior, and the high school is Maynard Jackson High, which are all pretty close by. So, and they're ranked pretty well. So as always, do your own research to see if those schools meet your needs. But from what I hear from parents, they are, A-okay. So let me get up this hill and I'll go over my pros and cons list. Okay, much better. So let's go over pros and cons. So on my pros list for the BoHo neighborhood, obviously the affordability of this neighborhood compared to other in-town neighborhoods nearby is definitely better. And I'm not saying it's cheap, but it's definitely better than if you were looking in some other close by neighborhoods. Also, you have access to the Beltline, which is a huge plus. I think that's going to be a game changer for this neighborhood. And finally, it just has a nice, quiet residential feel. So if you're looking for that, this certainly fits the bill. Now on my con side for this neighborhood, I would just say it lacks any kind of commercial. So if you're wanting to walk to a coffee shop, you gotta walk a little further into a nearby surrounding neighborhood. There's just not that around here. It's a nice little area to walk around, but there's really nothing to walk to until you get to the Beltline, and then you have to walk a little bit further. Whew, hold on, the pollen is getting to me. I'm about to sneeze. And I'd say my only other con would just be that, this neighborhood, it's not going to be perfect cookie cutter, like homogeneous look. It's a little bit, old with the new. So if that's not your style, you might find that as a con. Some of you might love that. So it just kind of depends on your preference. So there you go. That's my pros and cons for the BoHo neighborhood. Now I just saw a sweet little couple hanging out in their front yard, so I chatted with them and they just love this neighborhood, and I will agree with them. It is kind of Atlanta's best kept secret. So sorry to blow the cover. Maybe not too many people will watch this video and won't know about it, but definitely an area you should check out if you are looking for something a little under the radar, close to the Beltline, and you don't have to pay $1 million. What did you think? Let me know. If you're thinking about making a move here, you need help with your home search, reach out to me. Whether you're thinking about moving tomorrow or next year, I am here to help you out. But you guys, thanks for joining me. As always, if you see me out in the wild, make sure you say hello. I'd love to say thank you for watching, but you guys, until next time, I'll see you around the neighborhood.